there were quite a bit of news coming from Novonix and Talga, so I wanted to create a quick video on them. On top of that, I spoke with Jordan from The Limiting Factor on graphite anodes. So if you're interested in Novonix and Talga, you definitely want to check out that video after this one. And yes, I will wrap up this video with a portfolio update. Okay, let me get the boring stuff out of the way. No, this video is not financial advice or recommendation for you to do anything. It's just general information for entertainment purposes. The one thing I'm qualified to recommend you to do is for you to gently smack that like button right there if you do learn something new. So, without further ado, let's go! Let's start with Novonix because this is such a great outcome for them. So, North American researcher Professor Jeff Dawn has been appointed as Novonix Chief Scientific Advisor. He'll provide, and I quote, advice to Novonix initiatives across battery materials and research business, as well as key customer and business development projects. Professor Jeff Dawn's appointment will be effective July 2021, and his research partnership with Tesla is extended for another 5 years until at least 2026. Firstly, some people might be like,
who the is Professor Jeff Dawn?
The way I like to think about this is, in OG Pokemon games, especially during the Game Boy Advance days, you have legendary Pokemons like Lugia, Ho-Oh, Rayquaza, Kyogre, Groudon. These Pokemons changes your gameplay because of how strong they are. In the lithium-ion battery research world, I think it's incredibly similar, where there are a few key contributors who have forever changed the world we live in. Professor Jeff Dawn is definitely one of them. Dr. Shirley Meng is another, and let's not forget the Nobel Prize in Chemistry winners John Goodenough, Stanley Whittingham, and Akira Yoshino. Their research have opened doors we take for granted. Laptop computers, mobile phones, and of course, electric vehicles. So you can imagine why it's such an incredible milestone for Novonix to have Professor Jeff Dawn as its Chief Scientific Advisor. At the same time, this is like a reunion for Group CEO Dr. Chris Burns. Since Novonix Battery Technology Solutions was spun out of Professor Dawn's research labs in its early days, while Novonix Group CEO Dr. Chris Burns was still completing his PhD under Professor Dawn's guidance. At this point, I just want you to know that this is my interpretation of the situation with my understanding of the company. Since the announcement, Novonix share price have grew by more than 20%, and I think people are just generally excited by the fact that the company can attract people like Professor Dawn as its Chief Scientific Advisor. For me, I think the impact of having Professor Dawn on the team is twofold, broadly speaking. On the research side, because of Professor Dawn's partnership with Tesla, he might have a better view of both Tesla and other automakers' priorities when it comes to batteries. And that can help Novonix prioritize research in areas where automakers care the most in the short term, medium term, and long term. Then on the business development side, having Professor Jeff Dawn on your team is basically like a massive brand campaign. Battery and car manufacturers that haven't considered Novonix as their supplier might suddenly go,
well damn, maybe we should do our due diligence here.
I hope the team make the most of this moment, because frankly, they don't even have to spend money on ads, since the EV community is so passionate that multiple articles are already written on this subject, and content creators like me are going to create videos on this. Overall, I'm just watching this story unfold. So what do you think? What does Professor Jeff Dawn's appointment mean for Novonix? Okay, next. Goldman Sachs launched a $37 million block trade for Talga's biggest shareholder, the Smith-Vig family. Since then, it seems like the markets
Clearly didn't like that.
and it reacted negatively. And before I talk about the more recent Talga announcement, this is what I think. Investors, especially institutional or family office, are here to make money. That's their job. It's their job to allocate capital in a place where they think they can substantially grow their returns. It's also their job to lock in profits or reallocate the money to other opportunities that can get an even bigger return. Now, the family didn't specify their mandate, so there is no way for me to know their investment time horizon and also their risk tolerance. But the family office invested in Talga in 2016 for 28 cents a share. They've provided financial support, not to mention have definitely probably pulled strings to help Talga to get this far. So while it's a bit of a bummer for them to exit, a new chapter for Talga is just beginning. The question I like to ask myself when things like these happen is, has my thesis in the company changed? Frankly speaking, it hasn't changed for me. Talga has the right partnerships both locally and internationally to build their pilot plan, and they're executing against their plan amazingly. But of course, with the family office exiting, it begs the question of whether Talga have lost some of its ability to raise capital in the future. Well, this is a really good segue into their newest announcement. Their share purchase plan for retail investors was aiming at $10 million. And what they got back was $53 million at $1.45 per share. If we look at their most recent announcement, you can see that the initial share purchase plan was targeting $10 million. And what they ended up getting is $53 million at an issue price of $1.45 per share. And with almost 4,000 applications, this is a participation level of approximately 53% of eligible shareholders. Now, the demand to be part of this journey is definitely there. And seeing that is the case, Talga decided to expand the offer to $30 million and had to basically scale back on the rest. Now, the expansion of this offer is essentially going to be accelerating the completion of the 25,000-ton trial mine at Niska South, commencement of early stage infrastructure works in the Vittangi anode project, the increased drilling to expand Talga's Swedish graphite resources, and also accelerate the development and commercialization of next-gen Talnode products, so the silicon and solid-state products. From here, Talga's ability to capital raise is very much dependent on them delivering on their plan and generating the right economics to build a successful company. So I am incredibly fortunate to be able to learn from the sidelines. But what do you think? Before I do a portfolio update, if you want to be part of my fortnightly Q&A, not to mention some additional content pieces, consider supporting this channel via Patreon. The link is in the description box below, but no pressure, and let's move on to a portfolio update. My CMC Market portfolio side of things is currently worth about 71,000 Australian dollars. And I haven't really changed anything on this side. I haven't bought anything, I haven't sold anything. I am still waiting for my share purchase plan shares from Talga. Hopefully they'll come in the next couple of weeks. With my stake portfolio, it's currently worth about 36,000 US dollars, and that's give or take approximately 46,000 Australian dollars. And the one change I did make is I have added another 1,000 US dollars into Disney. If you want to know why I invested in Disney in the first place, in my previous portfolio update, I have explained that in detail. So feel free to check out some of my older videos. As usual, I'm not sponsored by Stake, but if you do want to try Stake for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description box below. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you have learned something new, consider gently smacking that like button right there, subscribe to my channel, and click onto the bell so that when I release future videos, you'll be the first one to know. Until next time, my name is David. Otto will always do the honors, and see you very, very soon.